Blog Talk Radio.
Catch the train, hey, hey. 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 Whoa, hey, hey. No fear. Whoa, baby. No fear. Have courage. Have courage. Love yourself. Love yourself. Believe in you. Believe in you. Catch the train, hey, hey. 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 Whoa, baby, I'm still in the way. Move 'em out the way. Whoa, baby, I'm still in the way. Move 'em out the way. Get on board. Get on board. Into your dreams. Into your dreams. Whoa, baby, to your love. Whoa, baby, to your love. Whoa, baby, to your love. Whoa, baby, to your love.
Great to have you again tonight on the show and talk a little bit about where you came from and things we were talking about the other day. Some old school ladies back in the 20s. And
oh, hold on here. This is now September 4th, 2019. I'm doing a rebroadcast of Best of Bagoo. I was on Block Talk. I tried to tell you this about a moment ago, but my mic wasn't on. But I had a chat with Carolyn last night, and this is a cool rebroadcast of Ma Rainey and all the blues ladies that come before. So, all right, now you know what's going on. It's AM radio sounds like a year and a half ago when I was on Block Talk Radio. The microphone will go, shh. Yeah, so. Anyways, it's cool stuff. God bless those ladies and everything before us. So.
30s, Bessie Smith, Ma Rainey, Ma Smith, and tonight I was able to get some clips ready for you tonight in the audience and preview some of the stuff that you were talking about. So how about a little bit about Ma Rainey? Let's talk about her. I have the tune called Booze and Blues ready to go for us tonight. Tell us a little bit about that time period and that lady.
Well, Ma Rainey, she was a great blues singer. She didn't quite have like the rural, deep blues in her soul and spirit, meaning she didn't sing the rural, raw blues like Mamie Smith or Blind Boy Fuller, but she did have that deep-rooted blues in her, and she was like the queen of blues, like Mamie Smith was the queen of the guitar and playing the blues. But Ma Rainey was always like Diana Ross of today. She was always fascinating, and she was extraordinary, and you wanted to hear her music because it had that deep feeling that was associated with the world and the time period of her time period. But she also had such great hits, and she was like the mother of the blues, and she was also she was a sensational hit maker from her past into today, and that's why we can appreciate Ma Rainey, because she had a great blues sound back in the 1920s, 30s, you know, and she did die like December the 22nd, 1939, and she died in Rome, Georgia. But she had great hits. She was always a hit maker. Ma Rainey and Bessie Smith and Mamie Smith, they were such great hit makers. Anything they sang just turned into a hit. And like some of her Ma Rainey's hit songs were called "Prove It On to Me" blues. And so you can take it from there.
Yeah, the neat thing, thanks, Carolyn, researching or learning about this history of this is, you know, back in the day, they were talking about their lives, and that's where the blues came from. They were telling about, like today we have the modern, you know, the rap, and back that was them bringing out the messages of, you know, what was happening. And she herself had over 100 recordings, and the neat thing getting ready for the show is Paramount Records was an early record company from 1919, was a furniture store. Now, that is locally based here in Wisconsin. In Grafton is where they actually made, and Ma Rainey was there in the recording studio back in the day, along with the other gentleman you were telling me about, Blind Boy Fuller, and the tune that I also have of him, "A Piece of My Pie." And, all that goes back locally here, along with the stuff that you're doing, too.
Well, Blind Boy Fuller, if you listen to Blind Boy Fuller and Mamie Smith, now they both had that rural sound, that rural, raw sound. Bessie Smith had a deep-rooted sound, but her sound was like my father, Roy Gaines. Their sound was more classy, educational. You can understand every word they say because they're just some classy singers with beautiful speaking tones of words, how they sing. Like my father and Bessie would probably sing like here's Memphis Mamie song, and just to live with her lyrics, my father and Bessie Smith would probably sound like Hoodoo Lady Blues, you know, but you can understand what they're saying. But Mamie Smith and Blind Boy Fuller would kind of be like way down deep. How do you do? Don't you put that thing on me. You got that thing down in your shoes. Don't you put that hoodoo blues lady thing on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I dig that. Beautiful, nice. Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's do Bessie Smith right now. You were talking about your dad, and I have Ain't Nobody's Business If I Do. How about that one? Should we give that a whirl, everybody?
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
Yes,
Thank
wonderful.
You. There we go. Bessie Smith. Old school, RPM. 78.
copper if I'm beat up by my papa. Ain't nobody business if I do.
That, my friends, is Bessie Smith, 1923, I believe. And that's a deep story. If I do, that's about feminism. I was reading about that. That's a real-life incident that was going on with her. Thank you, Carolyn, for influencing me on this stuff. Very cool.
Great. I'm glad you can be exposed to Bessie Smith and Ma Rainey.
Smith,
and awesome.
Yeah, when you hear that, it's just it's no different than today. Give it a little modern day upbeat, I guess, should I say, in the recording, and these ladies and everything you hear, it's really cool. And again, those are the old school 78 RPMs that the Beatles and everybody was influenced by, these early blues people.
Right, and the Rolling Stones also.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, should we rock one of your tunes right now? Let's do a little bit of Carolyn Gaines. And how about, let's do Mr. Dill Pickle, and then come back with a little story from Blind Boy Fuller. How about that? How about that for the audience? Sound good?
All right. Great, Mr. Dill Pickle.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. Let's crank this one. We'll come back, and then we'll fill in with Blind Boy Fuller and all that all goes, okay? Thanks, Carolyn. Here we go. Carolyn Gaines, Mr. Dill.
Baby, I'm not storytelling, and I'm not clowning. I want a good taste of your dear picker, so better give me